If a trade happens and nobody's here to listen to the call, did it really happen? Welcome into the DNVR Avalanche Podcast, live from the Xfinity Studio and presented by Bet365. We've got Bailey, we've got AJ, we've got Rudo coming to you on an off day. We're going to be talking about the season schedule and some of the problems that are starting to arise because of that. But there's some news to get into first, and it's even Colorado-related news, as Colorado has made a trade. It has happened. They've made a trade this year.
Did you guys see me just get attacked by a fly?
No.
What the? What was that?
It's the life of AJ right there. He's got to be on the lookout for the rest of the show.
I like that.
The official trade from the Colorado Avalanche is Ilya Solovyov for Valtteri Puustinen and a 2026 seventh round pick. Now, I think there's a couple of interesting angles to get into here, even if this likely isn't going to have much impact on the Avs NHL roster this season. For starters, though, good business from Chris McFarland. You turned a waiver pickup into something.
Yeah. Seventh round pick and a guy who I will be very surprised if he becomes a prominent NHLer. So
yeah,
you get something in the system, but it is something. I'm more worried about the implications of this trade moving forward than I am kind of focused on this trade as a whole, I think.
Yeah, certainly.
I think this is just easy business for the Avs. I mean, I think that they know Taves is coming back within next week. Just roughly in the next week.
He has to be.
Hopefully sooner, but I'll say within the next week. I could say it a few more times. I haven't said it enough. But that meant that Solovyov was going to go back to just sitting there doing nothing. And the Avalanche, I think, just kind of made up their mind. And they were like, we're good. We talked about it recently. Is this the seventh guy that you want in a playoff run? Is that the guy that you're comfortable with? The Avalanche, y'all were like, absolutely not. I was buying some stock. I was like, maybe you could talk me into it. The Avs said no, thank you. And as Rudo mentioned, they turned a waiver claim into a good AHL player and one with good, respectable bottom six results in the NHL when he's been in the NHL, and a seventh round pick for a guy that they were comfortable not having on their roster anymore. Taves came back, they might just put this guy on waivers, and they reached out to some teams, and I would imagine that they reached out to some teams and were like, hey, we're getting ready to put this guy on waivers. Is anybody interested in this? And this is what they came to. Puustinen probably wasn't so much of somebody the Avs really liked, but a contract for a contract and a guy that
he reports directly to the AHL, so frees up the roster spot.
They don't have to worry about that.
Two, again, I don't really expect a significant amount of NHL impact from him on the Avs, but if he does end up playing in the Avs for whatever reason, he's a really good skater. That fits with the Avs. So there's something there.
He's a really good skater.
And production, but I was going to say, not just for the, on ice, non-production side of things too. You're talking about a guy with Wilkes-Barre Scranton who put up 35 points in 48 games last season too. So decent AHL production for a Colorado Eagles team that's pushing for another championship run this year. So you're getting a solid AHL guy in a really, really good developmental system.
Yeah.
Well, and the Avs continue to show that they don't care even a little bit about size at the AHL
Indeed.
level.
Their small stars play great down there. Yeah.
Right. Like there's a bunch of quad A guys down there who are 5'9".
Yeah.
TJ Tynan, Daniil Gushchin, two of the ones that are in the Avalanche organization right now that are great examples of that. And now they have another one in Puustinen. And that's great. Like you could just put him in the rotation of random call-ups. Tristan Nielsen. Add in Tristan Nielsen. I knew there was another one I was forgetting. But like
Barre Boulet got a point the other night.
Yeah, I mean that guy's really.
I'm just saying he's in the rotation of call-ups. Like
you're completely right. He shouldn't be. He should just be in the NHL. So that's how I feel about it. It's how I've always felt about it. It's fine. So yes, exactly. It's exactly it though. They have a bunch of those smaller guys that are impact guys for their AHL team, and they're fine with that. They have a couple of tougher guys, a couple of bigger guys that they can bring up if they want that as well, with a Jason Poland or a Taylor McCarr. I guess if they really wanted Cooper Gay, but it's. I don't know how you could be bothered by this in any way. Like I don't really see a downside here because Solovyov hasn't earned any of the trust from the coaching staff.
Right. Regardless of how we feel, that coaching
the
staff was not going to play him in April, May, and June when it matters. Like,
yeah, exactly. And because of that, the Avs were going to go out and get a different depth guy. Like it was like this writing was on the wall, but it's fine. Like these like minor deals are the ones where I'm like, okay. And the Avs got 2 assets, the other team got 1, and great. Everybody can move on.
Yeah. No, the moving on though is where I tend to get a little more excited about all of this, or at least interested, I will say. Sounds like Jack O'Shawn is going to be the kind of guy in point for a Jared Bednar to call back up. And I mean, he was fine in the few games that he played in, but as a long-term solution, I don't know as though I have a lot of faith. So that's where I hope that you were right, AJ, in saying like Devontae's has to be ready next week. Like that's got to be the game plan.
I wonder if Devontae's might be ready tomorrow, to be honest, with this move getting made the way it was. I know he was by himself at practice today, but did skate for like 40 minutes or something. So it was a pretty intense session.
So Jack O'Shawn's numbers this season were unbelievably good. And like,
yeah, in very sheltered minutes.
That's great. But that's a third pairing guy, right? Like you're comfortable with that. The big problem that the Avs are running into is he's too samey.
Yep. Too small.
Third
like small guy.
But for a small guy, he's a really competitive guy. And you have to love that. Like you love a guy that's competitive like that. And I can live with him being a little bit smaller as long as he's willing to get in there and actually play some defense and muck and grind. He does that, and I'm good with that. And again, his results earlier this year, in 67 minutes at 5-5, the Avs outscored the opposition 5-1. His expected goals percentage was 65. Like, the numbers were fantastic with him. Solovyov's underlying numbers were also pretty solid, but this is just a function of the Avs are very good. So, like some of these guys are going to have really good numbers, and it's like that doesn't mean that they were playing that well.
Solovyov ran into the problem that the Avs bottom 4D always do, in the sense of you knew he was good for one big dumb every single game.
Yeah, and I think that the mistake that he made on the that breakaway goal the other day was probably
where he freezes at the blue line. Yeah.
Yep, that was probably the coaching staff going, all right, we're done. we're good with this.
Experiment
I don't wanna
over.
do it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Basically.
And, nothing against Solovyov. Hope he goes and has a good career, whether that be in Pittsburgh in the NHL or wherever he ends up. But I think it's, as you were kind of getting into, AJ, the Avs are really good. They don't have time for a guy to figure it out at the NHL level. He can go play for a weaker team that maybe needs the help on defense while the Avs go find a more permanent solution that helps them right now. And, before we jump into that side of it, Ashawn, kind of the opposite of Solovyov, right? He had earned a good bit of praise from Jared Bednar in his time in the NHL. It sure seems like the Avs coaching staff really liked him. Is there any chance, and I don't want to give false hope here, but could we see a game, maybe Taves is out a week or two still, could we see a Sean Behrens?
I don't think so. Given how much trust in a Sean got, especially when you get down to a Jared Bednar name dropping him in a presser, being like, this is the guy I want to take an extended look at. Like that earns you a high bit of praise, and I think it gets a Sean a bit of a look until they kind of decide, okay, he's a suitable 7th D for our group, or this experiment cannot be continued even further. Like this cannot be a part B to what we're trying to accomplish with our D core. We need to go out and get somebody more suitable.
Yeah. I think that the Avs are just like dying for a guy who is bigger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Plays a more physical style to just be.
Well, in that case, then do you look at a Keaton Middleton and give him a second shot?
You try to start a fight?
I'm just not a genuine question.
I was gonna ask about Alex Gagne before I did Keaton Middleton.
Oh my God! Of course
that's
you were.
The thing, though. Like that's where they're at, though. Is it's like I think the Avs are just like they badly would like a guy of that archetype to just like take the job and be like, no, I'm not giving it up.
Yeah.
But instead, all these tiny little puck movers just keep doing the thing, and you're like, well, they keep trying. They want this to happen. It's not happening though because the little puck movers are the best fit for their system. They're the best for what they want to do. That's why they look so good in Colorado and are limited elsewhere.
Yep.
Fair.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. It's hard to find a big guy that can move in the way the Avs need a defenseman to move, perhaps. But also, we all know they're going to go get a veteran defenseman that's going to stay at home on the third pairing and be Jack Johnson 2.0. So I'm preparing myself for that as well.
Carson Soucy.
One of the options. So yeah, that's the Avalanche news of the day. Again, maybe more of addition by subtraction as far as the NHL roster is concerned, but I think you feel pretty comfortable about the move, given we know Taves is close and we know the Avs were going to be wanting a left-handed D anyway, be it over the next couple of weeks or at the trade deadline or whenever it does end up happening for them. So
yeah.
Just for recency bias or like recency sake coming up too, Kolyachonok gets put on waivers today too. Is that I'm not sitting here vying for any of that, but like I'm just throwing it out there.
The Avalanche are a machine that turns waiver claims into 7th round picks. Is that where we're at now?
I just just a thought, just an idea.
I like him, and I mean, I would have absolutely no issues here. I've liked him for a long time. The skating and the puck moving fit what they want to do, but he has a lot of control or disconnect issues, and that's why he can't stick. It's because there are some times where he just, but I mean, sure, you could claim him and then see if in 2 months you could trade him for a 7th round pick.
Yeah,
I have no problem with that whatsoever. If they make that move and then they're like, we're going to put a claim in on Kolyachonok, great. I'm so in.
I would say that does not feel like a permanent solution, though, right? You're
getting
rid of a waiver claim to pick up a waiver claim to just get through to where you get a guy that you finally actually want to play.
And that's like, okay, Taves is back. Now that guy just sits, and then you do whatever from there. Like I think right now the lineup in the immediate, the lineup is, okay, we're just trying to get to when Taves comes back. And then when Taves comes back, we're just trying to get to the break, which is coming up in 2 weeks.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, you're talking about, like, limited samples here. Like, what they've got left is not very many games for them to actually get through before we start talking deadline for realsies.
Yep.
Right.
All right. Do want to get into some other trade stuff around the NHL just for what it could potentially mean for the Avalanche, but we need to take our first break of the show, so let's shout out a couple of our sponsors. This season, Rocky Mountain Cancer Centers is proud to be the official sponsor of Denver sports fans, because when life calls an audible, you need a team that won't back down and is ready to take your treatment head on. We rally around you with the same passion, pride, and relentless spirit you've brought to every game day. You show up for your team, loud, loyal, and all in, and we're the team that shows up for you. So, if you feel anything unusual or there's something weird going on, make sure you get checked out, or help your partners and make sure they get checked out too. A simple nudge can make all the difference. Rocky Mountain Cancer Centers, your courage, our expertise. Head to RockyMountainCancerCenters.com to learn more. And if you find you or a loved one does need treatment, our MCC is here to help. Once you making sure you're taking care of yourself, then you can treat yourself a little bit too with something like Taco Bell. Of course, we have exciting news to share that Taco Bell has brought back the iconic quesarito for a limited time. Absolutely delicious. You know, Jokic and us here in Denver have an interesting relationship with the quesarito, but Jokic has tried the quesarito now, so even he likes it. You got to get in on the quesarito. They also have great other options too. They brought back the spicy volcano sauce to pair with the quesarito if you want to take that heat up to the next level. So get over to Taco Bell and celebrate the Joker and pick up a volcanic quesarito today. And while you're at it, don't forget to grab something from Taco Bell's crispy chicken menu, whether it be a taco, burrito, or strips. Taco Bell's crispy chicken delivers take every time. And with football playoffs taking full effect, be the hero of the party. And don't forget to pick up a crispy chicken game day pack featuring chicken strips, soft tacos, and Taco Bell's amazing nacho fries. This is definitely a winning combination. Live Moss at Taco Bell.
Joe.
Second period of the DNVR Avalanche podcast. There are a couple other trades that occurred over the weekend or whatever you want to call it. Vegas acquiring Rasmus Anderson, sending Zach Whitecloud back the other way, as well as some picks. And then San Jose acquiring Kiefer Sherwood for a couple of seconds. I don't really understand the Sherwood deal. I also don't think it really affects the Avs at all, to be honest with you, so I'm not worried about that one as much. But I do think the Anderson one could be interesting from the Avs' point of view. We know they're looking for a left-handed D. Is this the first domino as far as setting the trade market for defensemen this year, in season at least?
Well, Anderson was the top in-season domino that we think is going to go.
Right.
So, kind of. But also, I think the San Jose deal is sneaky important and tangentially related to the Avs, because if the Sharks are buying, then that means that Mario Ferraro is probably not going to be for sale.
Fair enough.
And that was an important guy on my trade board that I kept looking at going, he makes too much sense. He's a good fit. What the Avalanche like to do, I've been saying it for a year, that he was a good fit. So maybe 2 years? I don't know. Anyway, bad underlyings, and I understand. But with the Sharks buying on Ferraro, it looks like they are doing everything they can to get rocked in round one by Colorado, or sneak into one of those spots in the Pacific, in which case they will get rocked by a Vegas or Edmonton. They're not there.
Yeah.
They're not ready for this. They're not. This is premature. And the only reason that we're having this conversation is because their division has completely tanked. Mm-hmm. It's a god-awful division, the worst division in the league, by a wide margin. It's terrible. Yep. And that's the only reason that we're sitting here being like, oh, well, the Sharks could be in this thing, because their competition sucks. And to see Greer decide that he wants to buy a guy like Sherwood, whatever. Like, the trade is whatever. But it signals that the Sharks are not going to be interested in selling Mario Ferraro, which is what I cared about. So that's one less left-handed D that blocks shots and is physical and has a mean streak and is competitive and decent size and was college teammates with Cale Makar, so that we could all talk about that for 2 months. That's one more of those off the board. So that market gets a little bit smaller. That's the only reason I really cared about that deal.
I did think it was interesting when the news dropped, because the conversation about him going, or Rasmus Anderson going back around to Vegas, going to a Dallas, kept picking up as much as it did, and it was just a surprise to me. I think that's. I'm pleased that the Central doesn't get that much more difficult, but then you force a Dallas to start, okay, what do you do with the Robertson now? Like, they have a little bit more of a runway with a guy like him trying to maybe get that figured out, but I don't know. I was just surprised. That's all.
Are these prices a little bit alarming? Yes, sure. The effect of Ferraro being out and Anderson being out, as I don't know that the Avs were ever going to seriously be in on Anderson. But Anderson goes for Zach Whitecloud, which is an NHL roster player, a first rounder, and a conditional second rounder. That feels pretty expensive for what the Avs have in the cupboards. Now, the Avs are probably going to be targeting something that costs less than that, but do the Avs have some concerns about having enough assets to do what they need to do when it becomes time?
Yes, but also, like, Vegas, Dallas, those were teams that were in competition for Anderson because they needed a top 4 right-hand D.
True.
Like, is that something the Avs need?
No, they don't need right-handed D ever.
That's what I'm saying. Between Brent Burns, Josh Mansing, Cale Makar, Sam Malinsky, like, I think they're solid on that side, and right-handed D are just more expensive than left-handed D because of, supply and demand here.
Okay.
Yep.
So I just like that price was really expensive. The Avs don't have the assets to dance in those kinds of waters, but also they don't need to.
Yeah.
The Avs don't need to make that caliber of move. If they can go out and be like, okay, great, we're going to go get the best left-hand D that's going to be traded this year. Great. I'm all for that. But it shouldn't be as expensive as Rasmus Anderson was.
And again, looking at the assets that the Avs do have available, I mean, what do you feel comfortable giving up? This is a conversation we've been having for the last couple of weeks. What do you give for something like that? Victor Olofsson's got to be in the conversation. A Samuel Girard, maybe. But other than that, like, you're looking at, some stacked AHL prospects, and that's really, what else are you going to give up without destroying the identity of the team that you have constructed?
Yeah, they do have first-round picks in 2027, 2028, and they have second-round pick. They have 2 second-round picks in 2027 and 1 in 2028. So they've got those as futures. They've got nothing this year. If they can convince a team that the 4 seventh-round picks that they now have in this year's draft are worth something, I will fight them, because I want the Avs taking all of those picks. I need the Avs to actually shoehorn in a few more of those 7th-round picks, in honesty. So their assets are pretty limited, and their cap space is limited enough that if they wanted to make a big move like that, I know everybody's talking about Artemi Panarin.
We're about to get to that. Yeah,
it is. You have to look at Ross Colton and Sam Girard as your likeliest guys on the outs, just because of their salaries and where they fit on your roster right now.
Yep. Is anything off the table? If for the right price, are Gulyev and Nabokov available?
Yeah, absolutely. Why wouldn't they be?
Okay.
You're all in. After the Brock Nelson trade last year, and then the contract that they signed him to, I said this on our Die Hard Discord today, but your window right now is Brock Nelson's contract.
Yeah.
That
fair.
should be your immediate. Those 3 years is what you're focused most on, and the first of those 3 years is this year. It's right now. So you should be all in. You don't need those guys. The Nabokov's not going to help you. You re-signed Wedgwood. He has not been good in the KHL this year. So what's stopping you? You have your starter in Blackwood signed for the foreseeable future. You could always give Wedgwood, if Wedgwood is great again next year, just give him another year after that. Just do this year by year. It's just not a. It's just not a. I don't understand where you would look at a prospect and say, no, I'm not doing that. Cal Ritchie was like your top guy.
Yep.
And they made that move. That move is great. Right now, it looks great. Brock Nelson's been fantastic for you this year, to the point where that pain is eased for the moment. You still need to win a cup and all, but I just don't see any prospect that you would have in your system and say, this guy's off limits. For what reason would you do that?
Sure.
Especially when your window is as open as it is, and you're looking at an organization that quite literally is in a we want a cup and we want it now type mode.
Yep.
Yeah,
it seems stupid.
If you can't buy when you're the best team in the NHL by 11 points, when are you going to buy? For
Right.
sure.
Exactly. Especially when you're not buying a second line center. You're not buying a top 4 right-handed defenseman. You're picking around different markets than most of the other teams are in competition for. We're going to buy all the center talk. Minnesota is desperate for a second line center. Dallas, a 2C, a 3C. I don't really know how they want to line everybody up, but they need another center. And the Avalanche are going, yeah, another center would be nice. It would be helpful.
Before I jump into that conversation, I did want to circle back to Panarin, because obviously you always want to make your team better. If you can get Panarin, he makes you better, assuming the price isn't astronomical, which I do worry about the price being astronomical.
Yeah.
But the other side of this is, and we don't know how the health is going to play out over the next month and a half, but a reasonably healthy Avs lineup really doesn't need help at wing. It feels like there are more urgent things than that the Avs should be targeting than a Panarin, right?
I don't get it.
When you look at having a team that has versatility, like a Parker Kelly, like a Ross Colton, like Bardakov's kind of become for this team too, it makes you, why are you sitting here trying to logjam yourself on the sides when that's not where the need is?
Yeah.
You have enough versatility on your roster to sit there and supplement yourself on the wings.
Yeah, you're fine. They've had a bunch of injuries at wing, and they're still fine.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Last night, they went in with a second line of Ross Colton, Brock Nelson, and Victor Olofsson, and that line destroyed
Scored
the
twice.
Washington Capitals. Destroyed them.
Yep.
So they allowed one shot on goal against as a line, which, went in, but that wasn't on them.
Right.
Brent Behrens. Anyway, it was like you look at where they've had some issues on the wings. That's where they've had their injuries, and they've survived that because their wing depth, as mentioned, is good. It is solid. It is reliable. It is role appropriate. You've got guy, and that Logan O'Connor hadn't even played.
Yeah.
If Logan O'Connor isn't dead and actually plays for them at some point, Logan O'Connor is a really, really, really effective fourth-line player and one of the best PK guys in the entire league. Your team gets better if LOC comes back healthy at some point, which I don't really know at this. I really have no feel for anymore, but
Join the club.
Confident take that for whatever you want. Yeah.
Right. Like the Artemi Panarin, where does he fit in your lineup? Because who goes the other way? Are you trading a Val Nichushkin? That seems unlikely to me. It seems why would the Rangers take a huge chance on a guy that is one suspension away from being gone for an entire year? He gets busted one time for doing something he shouldn't. He's suspended for a year. Why would anybody take that chance? He's 30 years old. He's signed for like 5 more years, 6 more years. Like, I don't understand that. Arturi Lehkonen, no, stop. You don't want to trade that guy. That guy's Nathan McKinnon's best friend. Are you trading Marty Necas? Of course not. So what are you you're going to trade Gabe Landeskog? Who's going in this Artemi Panarin deal? And like Ross Colton isn't going to move the needle in an Artemi Panarin trade.
Right.
Like, okay, you got Ross Colton. Neat.
What else?
Why? Like, what does that change? It just doesn't make sense to me. How would you use him in your lineup? Like, where would he go? I guess I would need somebody to sell me on this vision because I don't see it. It seemed just like a rich getting richer. Like,
yeah,
your top 6. Like, he's fantastic.
He'd make you better, but the price you would give up at a spot that you're already good at doesn't make a ton of sense.
Right.
That's where I was going to sit there and say, though, too, like, are you really getting better at that point? You're risking some of the chemistry that your guys have built over the last couple seasons for a guy who's, I mean, good, but does he know how to play Avalanche hockey?
I don't have a problem with the chemistry. I don't have a problem with taking that chance on elite talent. Like, I'm comfortable with that. They may not be. I'm comfortable with it because I'm a guy sitting at a computer talking into a microphone, like it's easy for me to say that. But I just don't know where he actually like moves the ball forward for your roster.
There is one other guy that's been swirling in the rumors that I want to get into, but we need to take our second break of the show first. So let's shout out a few more sponsors and then we'll talk about Kadri. The official vehicle of DNVR is Toyota, and they're not just that. They're the official vehicle of the Colorado Avalanche also. So get in, find a vehicle for you. They have something for everyone, whether it be an SUV like the 4Runner, a truck like the Tundra, or a sedan. You can go with a Toyota Corolla or something simple. Whatever you want, 17 different all-wheel drive vehicles to choose from so you can take command on the road or on the trails if you like going off-roading. And more importantly, to someone like me, 16 different hybrid vehicles. Toyota offers more low and zero emission vehicles combined than any other automaker out there. So jump in with Toyota at your local Front Range Toyota stores, whatever you're looking for. They even have hybrid trucks like the Tundra iForce Max. You can find those stores at AutoNation Toyota Arapahoe and Centennial, Corwin Toyota in Boulder, Groove Toyota in Littleton, Mountain States Toyota in Denver, Stevenson Toyota East in Aurora, Stevenson Toyota West in Lakewood. And of course, again, Toyota, the official vehicle of not just us here at DNVR, but the Colorado Avalanche too. Toyota, let's go places. And once you've got yourself into a Toyota, make sure you're also locking in your home Wi-Fi with Xfinity. Imagine Wi-Fi that makes everything in your home work together, that finds and fixes problems before you even notice them, like super intelligent Wi-Fi with a sixth sense. And that lets you stream the game even when the whole family's online. All of your devices working in perfect harmony for 5 years. That's the Xfinity 5-year price guarantee. And it's just that easy. You can jump in with them. The best part is no annual contracts, no hidden fees, and Xfinity's best equipment all come included. Take it from me, a lock and change in 5 years, whether it's championships being won, records being broken, or dreams growing bigger. But your Wi-Fi, it should stay reliable, and the price should stay put. Lock in your price and unlock possibilities with Xfinity. You can learn more at Xfinity.com. Of course, select plans only. Restrictions apply. Make sure you're on the 5-year price guarantee with your Wi-Fi. Again, Xfinity.com for more info. Xfinity, imagine that. Third period of the DNVR Avalanche Podcast presented by Bet365. Nazem Kadri in the rumors here. And I want to not overblow this because the rumor that was out there was literally just Elliot Friedman saying Kadri would like to go to a good team like Colorado or Dallas. There's no actual, like, necessarily the Avs are hard chasing him or something.
Yeah.
So, all I'm saying, though, is if he wants to go to a good team, it doesn't get much better than Denver.
That is very true.
So...
The problem...
This is me wishing.
Denver's also the only city where Nazem Kadri isn't a villain.
That is true. I do think there are other issues there, though, because the version of Kadri you're going to get is not going to be the version that Colorado Avalanche fans remember from the Cup run. He almost immediately went back to being his 55 to 65 point self in Calgary. Also, if you're going to get him, you're playing him at 3C, right? Because you're not bumping Brock Nelson down with the season that he's having. So I wonder if Kadri actually even makes sense.
Yeah, he does, because he brings that toughness and he's more of an offensively tilted center. And since Brock Nelson is playing such a heavy defensive role right now, you don't need your 3C to be necessarily a checking guy. And in this alignment, you would have Jack Drury as your 4C. So you've got 2 offensive lines with McKinnon and Kadri and 2 defensive lines with Nelson and Drury. You're pretty well balanced. So
not just
he would
that
make
too,
sense
but
in that sense.
You're looking at a Parker Kelly kind of potentially balancing out some of that bottom 6. Maybe if you're looking at him on a line with a guy like a Nazem Kadri, Parker Kelly's shown that he's great at a checking style type of hockey when you put him on the wing. That's the kind of player that Kelly can be. And so you look at how much balance there is when you go through and shuffle some of those lines. And Kadri seems like the kind of guy who can sit there and play with anyone. It's a very dynamic way to structure a line.
Hey, look, if they can get him for the right price, I'm interested. But keep in mind... Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead.
Kadri has 3 years left on his deal after this at $7 million. That's kind of my big issue. Are you really going to pay a 3C $7 million? Or if you are somehow going to get Calgary to retain for that many years, that price is going to be steep.
Yeah, and he's 35. You're already seeing a pretty big drop from this year's Kadri versus last year's Kadri. And if you look at the box score numbers, you're looking at it going, okay, it doesn't look like a huge problem, but he's getting tip-top ice. Where's Eric to say he gets the good ice?
Yeah, right.
Because that's what he's getting in Calgary. He doesn't have that.
When he's playing 14 minutes a night in Colorado, yeah.
Right. He's going to be playing a very specific role in Colorado, and the last time that he played third-line center was in Toronto. It was last year in Toronto, and it didn't go great.
Yep.
He was pretty unhappy. Now he's in a different stage of his career. So it may not have the same emotional impact, especially like coming to a team that he's familiar with, a system that he's comfortable in, a coaching staff that he trusts, teammates that he knows pretty well. Like they would make sense if they're comfortable with the end of that contract, but you know that you're eating the decline. And the big thing was when he went into free agency and didn't stay in Colorado was the end of that contract was going to hurt. You knew it was going to hurt. Well, he's 3.5 years through that deal. He's halfway through that deal, and he's been good. He's been really good and productive, and I think he's been better than you gave him credit for earlier, Rudo. But also, again, he's been a top-line guy for the Flames. He's not going to be that in Colorado. Like, you're not going to get any of that. Like, it's just a really expensive third line center, because again, you are going to need some retention somewhere. If it's not a full 50%, it's
a mil or
it's
$2
got to at least
whatever.
It's got to at least be $2 million. Like a $5 billion third line center it's going to hurt, but like you could handle that if you're getting Nazem Kadri, and that makes the decline a little easier.
Sure.
But in trade, like that does have to be a Ross Colton going the other way. That does have to be a Sam Girard going the other way. One of those guys is going to have to come off your roster. And then you are giving up probably a first-round pick for that. Now, the positives are a double dip, the same way it was with Brock Nelson last year, where the Avs getting Brock Nelson meant that Brock Nelson didn't land in Winnipeg, so that was a direct competitor.
Keeping guys out of Dallas might feel good, yeah.
Right. And if they were to get a Nazem Kadri, you keep him out of Minnesota, you keep him out of Dallas, that means that they're going to have to go and figure it out elsewhere. And as the market shrinks, fewer guys are available, the prices go up.
True.
So there is beyond there is benefit beyond just what does he do as your 3C. which would be great. He would really help that, but it's a really expensive deal.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's where I think I kind of go back and forth on it too, because if Colton's not enough to send that the other way and they demand, a Girard and a first or whatever it might be, then too, you have to sit there and expect that Colton can go and command enough to replace a guy like Girard.
Yep.
Because then you're talking about another hole that Jared Bednar has immediately called out and saying, like, we need some reinforcement here. So like that becomes another issue. But if that's what you're getting in a guy like a Nazem Kadri, and you're able to swing that and you're able to fill holes as necessary and make those kinds of sacrifices, I'm a big believer in vibes. I think there's a lot to be said about the roster and the locker room being able to welcome a guy like Nazem Kadri back with open arms, and that doing a lot, not just for the locker room as a whole, but doing a lot for a guy like Nazem Kadri. And being able to maybe not get him back to where he used to be. I don't think anybody's expectations would be there per se, but you're looking to get maybe a bit of a boost, knowing that like they want to cup with this guy. What's there not to sit there and say, like, yeah, this would be fun. Like we can go and run this back, right?
It would certainly be fun, but as a pessimist, I jump to the worst case scenario. And what happens if both Kadri and Nelson hit the aging wall, and all of a sudden your middle six centers go from great to bad?
It's done.
Yeah. And I just wonder if that risk is worth it. You're already committed to Nelson. He's been great so far. Awesome. Do you need to add the additional risk of an even older center in Nazem Kadri, who you're committed to as well?
I mean, you're already through that looking glass, brother. Like you're committed to the Taves aging curve. You're committed to the Nichushkin aging curve. You're gonna recommit to the Arturi Lehkonen aging curve here when he's up for contract. Like you're already in that boat, man. Sure, you're already there. You've already committed to the Brock Nelson aging curve. What's the difference at this point?
You can go out and get a player potentially that isn't quite as walking the cliff when it comes to the aging curve.
It's so easy for us to say that, though.
Of course, yeah, of course.
Like,
actually making trades in the NHL is nearly impossible.
All right, so go get Casey Middlestat. Like, we saw how that went, right?
Yeah.
And then on the opposite end of that, like, Ryan Johansson will never play in the NHL again.
Mm-hmm.
So they enjoyed the end of that aging curve. Now, that was
enjoyed as a word.
They had to, I forgot the Landeskog aging curve just because he's a Swedish god and I didn't want to offend him.
In our minds, Landy's still 28 because of all that time that he missed.
Exactly. It's forever 28. But yeah, like you look at with Naz this year, he's playing 1937, man. He's not going to, what is he going to play in Colorado? Realistically, what is he going to play?
With the way power play, they could probably get him up to 15, 16.
Yeah, but with the way that Nelson is playing.
Yeah, you're not putting him ahead of Nelson for sure.
14 or 15 minutes, you're going to go and pay an arm and a leg for that? And it's not like he's a good face-off guy. He's not. Hasn't been in several years now.
Can't win face-offs if you get kicked out of all the face-offs.
Right. Like, I guess there are real cons here. I'm not trying to say
sure
it's a bad move. I'm just saying, like, there are real pros and cons. They are very pronounced. And it's such a high risk, high reward type of move where for this year, if you are all in on this year, then you don't care about aging curves.
That's true.
You just go, we can do that. But then you win the Stanley Cup this summer, you have the whole thing, and then the puck drops on next season. You do still have to figure this out, right? Like you do still have a roster.
Next season's problem, though, if you win the Stanley Cup, for sure.
It's very much true. And that's what I'm saying. Like if you are, and they have shown they're in on this. They are all the way in. Well, they have paid the prices that they have had to pay to build this kind of team. So Kadri, vibes-wise, it's great. The guys love him. The fans love him. It's the only place in the world that does. I guess the Flames fans could probably also love him. He's been good there. It's expensive. Is he the right one? Because there's a Vincent Trocheck. Yeah, there's a Ryan O'Reilly. All those guys have aging curve questions too. Which one is the right one? And Ryan O'Reilly, I think, isn't going anywhere. So just my personal vibe there is I don't think he's going anywhere. I think he wants to be there, and now that they're competitive and in a bad bottom of the West.
Jared Bednar put it best. They're not going to sell if they keep playing the way that they are.
That's true.
So.
Some decent answers in chat. I would take Nazem Kadri or just about anyone 10 times out of 10 over Jonathan Chase, though. I have absolutely no interest in Jonathan
There's
Chase.
not just an aging curve to look at there either.
The aging curve is over. He's at it's off the cliff.
Yes. So, yeah. Like, there's a lot more to worry about there for me than just, this guy's a little on the older side.
Yeah.
So
he's been so bad he breaks some of the statistical models that measure these guys.
That bad?
No, thank you. He's been horrible.
Horrible. We do need to take our last break of the show here, and then we can jump into our title topic because I do want to get into the schedule a little bit. So let's shout out our final sponsor. Our presenting sponsor is Bet365. You can jump in and gamble with them when you use code DNVR365 when you sign up. Put $10 in your account. Bet $5 on anything. Win or lose, you get $200 in bonus bets to bet on whatever you like. Avs game, go bet on it. The Broncos game, go bet on it. You want an emotional hedge and bet against the home teams? You can do that with your bonus bets with Bet365 as long as you use the DNVR365 code when you sign up. They have other great boosts for parlay options and things like that, and they even offer early payouts in the NHL. If you pick a team to win and they go up by 3 goals, you get paid out immediately, so you get your money faster, and you don't have to worry about any comebacks. Your bet just hits. So use that DNVR365 code when you sign up. Bet those $5 on anything and get those $200 in bonus bets with Bet365. You can use the QR code on screen right now to download the app, jump in. And, of course, when you do gamble with Bet365, you must be 21 or older, physically located in Colorado. And if you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call or text 1-800-GAMBLER today. All right. The Makar and Taves D-pairing, Makar and Taves forward line would be pretty funny, I admit.
It would be. It would actually be awesome.
Yeah.
That'd be amazing.
Final period of the DNVR Avalanche podcast. The Avs are going through an injury stretch, right? They're starting to rack up. Now, a good portion of those are weird freak things that there's not a whole lot you can do about. The season being compacted doesn't make Val Nichushkin get into a car accident. It doesn't have Landy blowing an edge and crashing ribs first into the net. But we've also seen some interesting weird injuries of guys like Blackwood tweaking stuff in practice. Ross Colton seemingly dealing with stuff in and out every other day. A couple of other guys that have also weird things have happened in practice where am I reading too much into this that a condensed season is starting to add up and the toll it's taking? Not just on the Avs. We see this across the NHL. There have been a lot of injuries this year. Is this a problem?
It's the price you pay for the Olympic schedule.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at with it. It's a problem. It's too much. The guys are not given any kind of time to rest and relax. The Avs, I think, are just getting ready to start there, or they've already started. I don't remember. A 6 games and 13-day stretch. Like, that's a lot. And then when they get back from the Olympic break, it doesn't stop. There's no break.
True.
Like, March is hell, and it's hell for everybody. But it's really going to be hell for the Avs because they've got 3 games in hand on Minnesota and Dallas. That's all fun and well right now.
They got to play them.
Right. It's great when we could just pretend that those are wins and we can just put them in the column and be like, oh, well, they're functionally 16 points ahead in the standings or whatever, right? And then they have to go and play those games while those teams are sitting. Like, it's going to be bad. But it is going to be bad for everybody. And these injury issues are just going to get worse. Yeah, the Olympic break is going to be great for most of the league to just chill out. And we're going to have a great spectacle. It's the Olympics are 1 of 1. It's a 1 of 1 competition. Yep. It's going to be amazing. But this is the price.
Yeah. And I mean, you ask guys around the league too, like they're so excited about the Olympics. There's something about
Yeah.
being able to go overseas and being able to put on your country's jersey and going to represent them. But I mean, as AJ mentioned, that's the price you pay for this. Like there's that 2 week stretch where you get to go and live out another dream that you've had as an aspiring hockey player, aspiring to do this as a career. But you sacrifice a lot of what you're getting through the rest of the year too. You're sacrificing playing, 3 games in 4 days and putting your team in kind of perilous situations where it could not look the same, like makeup wise at the end
Yeah.
of the season. Like that's where you have to sit there and say, like, it's all fun and games when you can sit there and say that NHL players are going back to the Olympics, being able to see these names that are nationally, internationally known as some of the best names to play the sport. That's awesome when you can see that at the Olympics, but this is the price you pay. Now, something I also worry about too when we talk about the injury side of things is how battered up are some of these guys going to be coming back from the break too.
Some of the top
Like
talent in the
that's
league is going to be the most exhausted.
Yeah. So there's that conversation to be had as well.
I'm going to take two hypocritical sides of this. Because if you know me, I am absolutely on board for team play 60 games a year. Shorten the season. You get better competition. It's better all the way around. We know that's never going to happen because money exists.
Never.
This year, in a lot of ways, has actually been pretty fun as a viewer, as a fan of the league. Because there's almost always one or multiple interesting games on every single night, except for Sunday, because the NHL doesn't want to compete with football. But beyond that, every night,
soon at least.
yeah, but I get to go home every night, and I'm like, here's a game I want to watch. Here's a game I want to watch. You constantly have something interesting on, and to some extent, that is exhausting, and I understand that. But it is consistently present NHL hockey that makes it interesting. Also, though, is this not just a false equivalence that the NHL has given us? Why can't they just make the season 3 weeks longer? There's no reason they can't award the cup on July 14th instead of June 22nd.
Because the off season's shorter. They have to push free agency at that point. It's too much of a hassle for these guys.
Okay, but playing in a bubble wasn't. But starting the season on January 1st wasn't. Like under extreme circumstances, the NHL has proven they're willing to do what they need to.
Yeah.
But the Olympics is apparently not that circumstance.
Nope.
I don't know. I'm split about it because it has been really fun this year in some ways, but also if you wanted to, you could get rid of this schedule crunch. The NHL just could.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm burned out on it, man. I can't wait for the break.
Mm-hmm.
Like, obviously, like we have to watch all of the games, and then we have to talk about all of the games and write about all of the games, so it's a little bit different. But like, I'm burned out on it. I don't want to watch random other games because I spend so much of my life having to watch Avalanche hockey that I'm like, oh, other games. Like during that 3-day break, I was jonesing for a game. Yeah. But when they play every other day or more for 2 straight weeks, no, dude. I want more time. Like it's just not fun. Like This is the time of year though that I always between games like 40 and 60 is almost always when I get burnt out.
It's the burnout stage. Absolutely.
And then once the trade deadline's over, it's like, these are the teams, let's go.
Yeah.
And the playoff stretch drive and then the playoffs, like all that gets going, and then
and then you hit July and we all collapse.
Yeah. And it's just for me, I just think it has taken away some of the fun.
Okay. That's
for
fair.
Me, it being so condensed, it has taken away some of that desire for me to watch other teams. And frankly, it's not even other teams. It's my AHL viewing has gone way down this year because I had to cut something. And it's like, well, that means Colorado Eagles are first on this list of like, I got to watch less of this.
To be fair, some of that is shallow depth of the Avalanche as well. There's not a ton of guys you're really super honed in on in the AHL anymore, like you were 4, 5, 6 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, when there was Martin Kaut and Shane Bowers and Nick Henry, I was pretty locked in. But these days, yeah, I'm like, I might even like this. Like, the Eagles are so good
They're
and
crazy
competitive
good.
that it is really easy to watch the Eagles. But watching that from a NHL perspective isn't
Right.
as good.
I'm not trying
For
to be
obvious
rude,
reasons.
but
There's a
most
lot
of the
quality
call-ups
guys.
are fringe guys, right? Like,
Yeah, it's
Right.
like Taylor McCarr is fighting for a job, like that kind of thing. But I do really miss watching as much AHL, and it's largely a function of the way that the schedule has to be
yeah,
to
Right.
accommodate for the Olympics.
Yep.
it just doesn't have to, Bo. It doesn't have to be this way. It is, and it's not going to change because the NHL is set in their way of doing this. But
All I'm saying, though, too, is you've got 2 years to figure out how to do it differently.
I mean,
Or 4 years. You've got 4 years to start the game plan. Like, what could you do differently for if NHL players truly are going to go back?
you've got,
Well, and I think next year is the World Cup.
is it next year or the year after? I forget. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember if the World Cup is 27 or 28, so we won't even have like a regular old All-Star game for a little while.
Right.
And but that's going to feel awful when that comes
28,
back.
apparently.
After 4 nations and then the Olympics.
Yeah, All-Star game would
You know,
tank.
So it's the All-Star game next year and then the World Cup in 28.
Yeah. That All-Star
Dude.
game is going to be the worst All-Star game of all time.
Yeah, we are all going to hate it.
It's
Yep.
it's interesting though, right? Because you could even go full-blown change everything. We've talked about this on the show a long time ago, but if the NHL hates competing with the NFL so much, start your season on January 1st. Play from January to September.
You would have to realign the entire hockey world then to do
So?
that.
Yep.
You're going to get every European league and every junior league to realign just because you want to start on a different date.
I bet you get the junior leagues, probably not the European leagues, but
Yeah, the Europeans already don't like the North Americans, so
Mm-hmm.
I think that's over.
I'm just saying there's other solutions out there, even if the NHL is not going to use them. That's all I wanted to be mad about. Anyway, yeah, for the Avs schedule, no reprieve. AJ already said it.
Yeah.
You have a bunch of games coming up. This is a nice 7-game homestand where they've been at home for a while, but you hit the end of this and you go right back on the road to Toronto. It's not like you're on a quick little road trip type thing to end up both sides of the Olympic break, actually. And then the travel for a team like Colorado who experiences 8 players, assuming everyone is healthy, go to the Olympics for Colorado. So that's 8 guys that come back not really rested at all. You're going to face some teams that have significantly more rested guys than you on the flip side of this. I don't have a positive spin necessarily when it comes to the Avs schedule. They're going to be grinding through it. I guess the positive spin is everyone will be grinding through it. So it's somewhat of a fair playing field. But if you are prepared for sloppy hockey, you're going to see a lot of that coming up.
They have a 5-7 immediately after the Olympic break.
Yeah.
That's how they open. And then they have 2 days off. They go to Dallas, and then that's the trade deadline day. And then they are every other day for the rest of the month of March.
Yep.
Brutal.
Yeah, their last 2-day break, or a break longer than 1 day, comes at the beginning of April, and then you're hitting the ground running again with playoffs coming through, and it's like you've already exhausted your You've already exhausted your 3-day break. Like, that's the longest you were going to get this season, and that you saw how they came out of that. So maybe, I don't know, there's some argument to be had for like the rest versus rust situation. So maybe this hit the ground running type of style is working out well for them. But like there's no break here. There's like you can't afford to let off the gas here, as gassed as they might be. There's just no room for it.
And a good point from the Toyota chat. Look, if the Avs can turn their lead into a 20-point lead, if guys need breaks at the end of the season, sit them. You're chilling.
Yep.
So maybe the Avs can make it work. I don't know. That's all I really had.
It cost McKinnon another Art Ross.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Trying to win cups over Art Ross's, the Nathan McKinnon story. I'm good there. Anything else you guys want to add before we wrap up today's show?
Solid.
Nothing.
Cool. We'll call it at that point. Game day tomorrow. So join us pregame, postgame, watch along the whole thing. We appreciate all of y'all hanging out. This has been the DNVR Avalanche postgame. Nope, it's just a regular pod. Dude, we're struggling out here. We'll see you on the next one. Presented by Bet365.
We all silly like the mayor.